By the Emperor's light, another warp breach! Purge the heretics for the Emperor! Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Rogue Trader. So, last time we managed to save Evan Winterscale, and this time, well, I've done a little bit of organizing, and while I was looking around, I rediscovered the map. And if you notice, we have someone new up here that we need to go talk to. So before we do anything else, let's go talk to Goth Mommy and see what she'll say to us. Oh, Jesus.
Domin.
Did I do that, or did you do that? My God, you have quite a bit. Yeah, I'm going with this one because you kind of just exploded at me. Gesture at the scars covering Cabela's skin. You torture your own flesh. What is the meaning of this ritual?
Torture? I bear the sacred marks of the Undying One's service. Death has bestowed them upon me. Though others may cherish hollow riches or meaningless beauty, it is my duty to cherish his gift of blood. Each wound is a symbol of our service to him. Each drop of blood carries his blessing. To renounce these scars is to renounce the Undying One himself. Death whispers to me, "You are worthy of bearing his marks." Tell me, Domin, do you wish to honor your flesh with his gifts?
Well, my guy does seem pretty traumatized, but this is for glory and to the Emperor. It would be an honor to bear the mark of the Undying One.
Let it be so. Treasure his gift, Domin. Inscribe it anew each time you pray. May his blessing find you.
How bad did you cut me up? The screen is pulsing. Let's see. Waits patiently as you prepare yourself for the ritual. Once you are ready, she carefully presses her blade to your skin and carves the sacred symbol into your flesh with skillful precision. The wounds sting and burn painfully as they begin to bleed. I would like to know more about the sacred mysteries of the death cult.
The Vizier taught us that there are many like us throughout the Imperium who spill blood in his name. Death cultists, as they call us. He said that no two death cults are the same, just as there are no two identical stars in the void. I will tell you about the Blood Spun Web, but I cannot speak on behalf of all death cults.
Alright, well that's super interesting. I kind of knew that most of them were separate. I didn't know all of them were. What is the cult's purpose?
The Blood Spun Web holds the bays of the flagship together with the threads of its faith. Such is our service to the Domini of the Von Valancius line. The Undying One commanded the Domini to embark on a ship and sail the Void's expanse. And thus, it became our duty to protect your dynasty and the Ark that became its home. This great relic of blood and adamantine.
So, didn't we get in an earlier dialogue that the Blood Spun Web had been working for the Von Valancius line since before we became rogue traders? But that sounds like you came with the writ of trade.
Some loathe and fear us. They call us murderers and reapers. Others call us dancers of death, who send the souls of the dead on their way. Both are right. Both are wrong. We are servants of the undying Emperor. When he whispers that the time has come for a righteous martyr's soul to be laid in his blessed hands, we come to claim it. When he whispers that the wicked must know of his wrath, we come to reap. This is how we maintain order on the ship, unseen and guided by death's
This
will.
is a really good question. You hear a whisper in your mind telling you to kill someone, and you obey? Have you ever considered that these whispers could be a deception orchestrated by minions of the archenemy?
Death's whisper is unmistakable. It is not like the murmur of stars or the hiss of corruption. It is truthful, pure, unyielding. Only the most eminent of us, the high spinners, can hear the whisper of the Undying One and give voice to his will. They must hone their senses and temper their body and soul for years before his call can reach them. If it puts you more at ease, you can think of these whispers as his
How do you know you've
providence.
never made a mistake? How can you be so sure you have never wrongly robbed one of your victims of their life?
We are carried along by a current of blood in the great river of fate. Life is not given or taken away by chance. If I see an enemy of humanity, my blade will sever the thread of their existence. I will not wait for a sign of his divine bidding. I am his will, and I do what must
Fair
be
enough.
done.
But you're still walking a bit of a razor's edge with this whole blood thing.
There is no thirst, only duty. Killing brings us no pleasure. We are instruments of his will, and this is how we
Alright,
serve
fair
him.
enough. How long has the Blood Spun Web been in existence?
Spinners carved the chronicles of our history on the stones of our temple long ago. But fate and time have erased our past, just as an exploding star erases a part of the galaxy from existence.
Goddamn. What are the responsibilities of the Vizier?
It is the Vizier's duty to watch over the flock, to lead those who want to learn more of the Undying One, but are fearful of death, and guide those who seek answers in death, but do not know how to live. The Vizier protects all, those who do not know we exist, those who are grateful for our service, and even those who hate us. The Vizier sees what is to come, remembers the past, and accepts the present. They spin a web of faith and blood so strong that no enemy may sunder it. This is the Vizier's burden. This is the legacy of the matriarch spider.
Who was the matriarch spider?
It is said that she was one of many, born in the void, the Domin's subject. She honored death instead of life, and for this, she was persecuted. It is said that when the arch-enemy's forces invaded the flagship during a warp jump, she gathered the Undying One's servants around her and saved the ship from ruin. Together, they spun the first threads of the web to ensure that such devastation would never happen again. It is said that she was strong and indomitable, but as the years passed, Her heart became as stone, and thus the Undying One whispered her name to the one who would become the first vizier of the Blood Spun
So,
Web.
is it just me, or is there a sort of ASMR quality to her voice? It feels like she's whispering into the microphone when she's talking to me. Why do you call yourself spinners?
Through blood, sweat, tears, and the strength of their convictions, the servants of the Undying One spin the souls of your subjects into threads of balance. This is why we refer to ourselves as spinners. Those who are newly committed to the Blood Spun Web are called lesser spinners. If they are faithful in their service to him, they may eventually become spinners. The most devout of us all are known as the High Spinners, of whom there are 7, each bearing a unique title. The Vizier, the first spinner, leads the cult. I, Kibella, am the second spinner. The third spinner's name is Io, and there are 4 more.
Whoa. Can I not ask about that? Alright, well, you say the God Emperor's death. There are some who might find the comparison blasphemous.
The Undying One is death itself. We serve him, and thus we serve death. This is not a comparison, attribution, or preference. It is the truth, and nothing can change it.
Can you teach me to follow the tenets of the Blood Spun Web?
The tenets are knowledge, an art that is passed down from one generation of the Blood Spun Web to the next. Even so, there are spinners who will never fully comprehend this knowledge in the time allotted to them by the Undying One. The tenets dictate how one follows the thread of life, but they are also the thread itself, from first breath to last. The tenets cannot be taught. They must be lived. Only then will you understand.
Yep, we gotta go on that spirit journey through the ship, don't we? You have satisfied my curiosity. For now. Oh, damn. Okay. I knew there was more. Tell me about yourself.
I am the second spinner of the Blood Spun Web. A spear in the hand of the Undying Emperor. I am your shield and shadow. Your blade.
I do love it when the skill tests actually show up. Come on. How succinct. Do you dislike talking about yourself? Fuck me!
The tenets compel us to let our deeds speak on our behalf. There is no one in the cult who does not know me. So I have grown accustomed to taciturnity in matters regarding myself. Ask, and I will try to give you an answer that will satisfy your thirst for knowledge.
Damn it. Damn it. I'll be right back. I'm not going to do this all the time, but I really want to know about the new character. So I will be right back. Sorry about this. Come on. Yeah! A look of curiosity flashes across Cabela's face before it is masked by her usual stoic indifference.
The tenets compel us to let our deeds speak on our behalf. There is no one in the cult who does not know me. So I have grown accustomed to taciturnity in matters regarding myself. Ask, and I will try to give you an answer that will satisfy your thirst for knowledge.
Fair enough. How about your past?
I remember nothing of my childhood. The Vizier says this is because of my training and the injuries I received in battle. He told me it is the fate of all high spinners. The only memories I have are of the Blood Spun Web and the brothers and sisters who serve the cult alongside me.
What was it like growing up in the cult? What do you remember?
When we were young, we would sew our eyes shut and wander through the bays for months at a time. Starving, surviving, dying. This trial of darkness honed the senses of those who passed it. We were elated, for we knew we were blessed by him. When we grew older, we learned to wield our weapons, and our mentors tested us with pain, poison, and the weight of deceitful words. In time, our bodies no longer felt pain. Our blood became resistant to toxins, and our focus could not be shaken. We were at peace, for we had shed everything that could encumber our faithful service to him. When we came of age, we faced a great trial. A year-long vigil spent in unceasing prayer to the Undying One. When hunger and other base sensations faded away, we attained true comprehension of ourselves and our place in the world. Our place between life and death. We were proud, for on that day, he truly accepted us, and we accepted him.
It must have been difficult to go through all that as a child.
It is impossible to understand the value of your body and spirit if you've never experienced physical or emotional pain. Pain is temporary, but experience endures. Experience can be sharpened like a blade and turned into mastery. I've never regretted walking the thread I was destined to follow.
Fair enough. I wish I had your confidence. Your parents, your family, you never mentioned them.
When we join the cult, we relinquish our past. The Blood Spun Web becomes our new family. I have seen the pain, terror, and doubt in the eyes of those who hear the Undying One whisper the names of their kin. For some, the blessing of oblivion is a gift not unlike death.
Do you not wish to know what became of your family?
No.
Fair enough. God damn it. Well, I'm not going to restart over every missed thing, especially because my fellowship is incredibly low. Is too devoted to the teachings of the web to let her emotions lead her astray. You may not remember your real family, but are you truly so unconcerned by the deaths of your fellow cultists?
It brings me comfort when my brothers and sisters cross to the other side. The Undying One has called them to his side, so they can serve him in ways we
This
cannot.
just feels mean-spirited. I understand you better now.
Know your enemy and prevail in battle. Know your ally and prevail in war.
Do you truly feel no pain at all?
You can see for yourself.
Cabela removes a small leather pouch from her belt and opens it to reveal several instruments of torture. What are those?
Tools for tempering the flesh. If a spinner neglects this practice for too long, their body will weaken and their sensitivity to pain might return. If it does, they will feel the overwhelming agony of every wound they have ever endured, and go mad with torment before the undying Emperor whispers their name.
God damn. Tormenting yourself almost seems to give you pleasure.
Is it possible to experience pleasure if one feels nothing?
Damn, that's a fair point, and an equally fair way to ruin the mood. Very well, let us see just how impervious to pain you really are. Oh, God. No, I'm not doing any eye stuff. I'll do this one, though. Stab the sharp prongs of a steel fork beneath her clavicle. Watch out.
You have found an interesting use for this tool, yet it still serves its purpose.
I'm not doing any eye stuff. I'll do this one. Pierce her skin with several chained hooks.
The flesh remains untorn. Good.
Yep, I'm not doing that. That is enough.
Do you have other questions?
Your fighting style is unique. Do you think it is something I can learn?
Your body will fail you, Domin. Your bones will break. Your tendons will snap. Your heart will stop. Our rituals of self-perfection are unending. They demand absolute dedication and decades of special training. However, if you devote the next 30 years of your life to its study, you might be able to learn the basics.
Damn it. Alright, well, thank you for sharing with me.
It is not difficult to speak the truth.
Did you ever meet Theodora von Valentius?
I met her once when I was young. The Vizier saw a serpent hiding among those close to Domin Theodora, ready to sink its fangs into her throat. I was ordered to find the serpent and sever the soul from its body. I watched and waited for weeks. I hid among the shadows, the air ducts, and the faceless masses. Once I found the serpent, I sliced off its head and returned to the temple. I doubt that Domin Theodora ever saw me, but the 3 ritual cuts I left behind on the body let her know that this death was pleasing to him. They sent us a grand feast from the upper decks before the cycle's end. We gave it to the hungry.
Aww. I wasn't expecting that last part. That is incredibly sweet from someone that goes around saying they're a Blood Spun Web, part of the death cult. You always address me as Domin. What does that word mean?
The Gothic we use to communicate is different to that spoken on the upper decks. Domin has many meanings. Giver of life, Lord or Lady of the Ark, and Shadowless Sun.
I like that last one.
The matriarch Spider gave this title to the rogue trader who allowed her to form the Blood Spun Web. We use other titles as well. For example, Venai means Master of the Immaterium or Watcher of the Veil. Vil means one who must go to the other side. Amig means one you can trust in battle.
I'll keep my ear out for those words, then. If the Undying One whispers my name, will you carry out his will?
Lords and wretches are equal before death. If such is the Undying One's will, I will guide you to him, Domin.
Spoken like an emperor-fearing citizen of the Imperium. Good job, Cabela. Tell me about the Emperor's Tarot.
I use blood to read his sacred cards and hear the whisper of the Undying One. His tarot is not an answer, but a question I ask of the universe. And the universe answers with questions of its own. In this sacred communion, I perceive hundreds of possible outcomes. They are all true, and yet they are only visions. I know what will come to pass, and yet I do not.
I like it when I actually succeed the test. The Emperor's Tarot is usually read by sanctioned psychers.
I am the spear of his retribution, not a witch or a sorcerer or a soothsayer. I have no strange powers, but I do bear his blessing. I do not command the veil. I am guided by his whisper and led by my faith, by the tenets. Please, do not mistake me for something I am not.
Now, that's pretty cool. So you're basically like a psyker who never discovered her powers then. Lore warp test succeeded. You occasionally feel a shiver run down your spine or detect faint sparks in the air when you are standing next to Cabela. It seems her powers only manifest when she is practicing divination or in moments of pious exaltation. Cabela herself does not seem to be aware of her gift. 44 experience. How did you come to have a deck of his tarot?
It is a holy relic that has been passed down from generation to generation. Only the first and second spinners are allowed to study the sacred cards and interpret their meaning. We use his tarot to guide the cult and discern the tangled threads of fate.
How many cards are in your deck?
34. There used to be more, but some have perished in the darkness of time. Their loss is a great tragedy for the Blood Spun Web.
What does that mean? Some of the cards died? What? Can you give me a reading?
Ask the cards, Domin, and I will listen.
Cabela carefully takes out her Imperial Tarot deck. A dark blade flashes before your eyes, and blood drips from her palm onto the cards. She closes her eyes and listens. What does the future hold for me? Cabela draws 4 cards from the deck and lays them face down before you.
The first card is the Young Warrior. It suggests inexperience, a path of becoming. The second card is the Shattered World Inverted. The path will have twists, turns, and thorns, but you will gather allies along the way and find what was lost. The third, the Hound Inverted. Someone has marked you as their prey and is chasing you through a field of traps. The Lost Child. You will leap into one of those traps of your own free will and place your trust in someone truly desperate.
That's ominous. The first 2 definitely sounded like Chapter 1. I do not know where the Hound or the Lost Child come in. Cabela nods slightly. Let us speak of something else. Hell no. Hell no. I must take my leave.
May the Undying One shroud your footsteps from the faithless.
Alright. Well, I said I was going to do it. I didn't realize that conversation was going to take half the episode. But it's time to start her quest. Here we go. The freight line. Yep. Bringing the whole crew with me. Let's see what this is going to be like. I'm super excited to get into the actual DLC. Plus, there might be another battle down here. And I get to watch Cabela and Cassia just mop the floor with these big, strong bastards. A void ship is like a city unto itself, inhabited by thousands of people, most of whom are disenfranchised rabble, providing an easily replaceable workforce. The common folk's only mission in life is to toil away in the name of the flagship's insatiable demands. Let's get into it. Edok Frenso, a sturdily built man with an augmented jaw, stands at attention. The dark circles under his eyes speak to many sleepless nights, and his voice is loud and spirited. Welcome to Freight Hub LD 987A14, Lord Captain. I am Edok Frenso. I can't even say my own name, I'm so nervous. Captain of the enforcers in the lower deck, Bay LDA14. The Master-at-Arms has assigned me to be your liaison for the duration of your stay here. Lord Captain, would you like to inspect the control room, or to begin your search of the Temple of the Blood Spun Web? He says the last part with obvious concern. It seems you were prepared for my visit. How did you and Sourback know I was coming now? The Master-at-Arms ordered us to be on standby after the Blood Spun Web openly invited you to visit their temple. We have been awaiting your arrival every day since then, Lord Captain. Oh God, I'm sorry, guys. Do you know how to reach the Temple of the Blood Spun Web? I am here to inspect the entire compartment. I am curious to see how people on the lower decks live. Frenso glances at you warily. As you will, Lord Captain. Still, out of concern for your safety, I must warn you that you should avoid the furthest sections of the bay. They are ridden with disease, and the locals can be particularly unpleasant to deal with. With that kind of riffraff that dwells there, you might even be attacked. Cassia shivers. Such ghastly places you describe, we are not headed there, are we, Lord Captain? He frowns. To put it bluntly, although the bay performs their functions well, even its more civilized sections are sorely lacking in discipline. I was only assigned recently, so I haven't had the time to straighten everything up, since doing so will require making some serious changes. I am not inventing excuses, Lord Captain. As the officer in charge, I accept full responsibility for what takes place in this compartment. Let's see, which one do we want to go with? I like the sound of 3. Yeah, let's go ahead and do 3. Rejoice, Frenso, for the Lord Captain himself has deigned to deal with your problems. Rest assured, I will provide you some crucial guidance once I am done inspecting the bay. Too pompous. 2 is basically the same thing. I hereby offer you my assistance, Captain. I shall conduct an inspection and then share my thoughts on how to change this place for the better. But Frenso stops himself mid-protest and assumes a more compliant tone. In that case, I urge you to remain vigilant. The freight trains move at great speeds and the inhabitants of the residential units are despicable rabble. One must never drop one's guard around them. And Emperor preserve you from stumbling into the pestilence pit. That's where the madman and the lepers live. Tell me about this section. Hub LD 987A14 connects the lower deck's freight, residential, and artillery bays. Our task is to monitor the flow of the labor force and prevent supply disruption between the bays. Who maintains this hub? Traffic controllers. They're technomats trained by priests of the machine cult to keep the sacred cogitators in working order and prevent train collisions. The consequences of an accident like that would be easy to imagine, especially if one of those trains were carrying micro-cannon ordnance. Jesus Christ. Also employed here are an enforcer squad, a team of Inferni, the clerks who keep the cargo records, and a Medicae officer, a fine chap whose medicine of choice is a bullet. May the God Emperor forgive him. Not every void ship can boast of its own railway. That is true. Usually higher class ships are the ones that get trains, but it's far from the greatest thing a rogue trader's warrant can see done. The credit here goes to Lady Theodora's predecessor, on whose orders the Adeptus Mechanicus assisted in birthing this miracle of sacred engineering from the womb of the dynasty's flagship. What is the situation on the lower decks? Most of the locals unload trains and sort provisions. We give the maintenance jobs to the more capable ones. The rest are reserve workforce. Whenever crew are lost on deck, we find replacements for among those rats. And if extra hands are needed anywhere else, there are always more than enough volunteers eager to work for rations. They even queue for jobs. The rabble cause you no problems, I hope. Surely you are joking, Lord Captain. The rabble are base in nature, and mutiny is always on their minds. They steal whatever they can get their hands on, and lately they've moved from rations and tinned food to weapons. We confiscate those regularly, of course, and keep the serfs meek and terrified. That's the only way we can protect the mindless herd from themselves. Oh, another thing the bastards do on a regular basis is build their shacks in front of service tunnel entrances. That has delayed the arrival of Infernus brigades during several emergencies, and caused air and power supply problems in adjacent bays. We burn those saboteurs along with their shacks, but they just keep pressing on regardless. Mutinous rabble, how paranoid of you. To the best of my knowledge, being paranoid is practically a requirement in our line of work. In any case, the rabble are always plotting. Take my word for it. I have learned enough. The cult of the Blood Spun Web have a presence in this compartment, does it not? That is correct. The enforcers do not bar from them carrying out their sacred duties. As irregular as it is to have armed crew members set up a secret hideout forbidden to the enforcers, and that they can go around dispensing bloody justice. What do you know about the cultists? Not much, but I'm always trying to learn more, given that they like to pay visits to my compartment. The spinners honor the Emperor through death. They kill notorious reprobates and heretics. Sometimes they kill righteous folk, and other times even seemingly at random. Their rituals are morbid and their prayers are strange. Anyone not initiated in their rites would struggle to make sense of them. Do you not take issue with the death cultists killing people on your territory? Fresno avoids looking at Cabela. Silence speaks louder than words sometimes, buddy. I do, Lord Captain. Oh, you actually admitted it. But the cult is authorized to exist on the ship, which means their activities down here are not to be interfered with. I see. Captain grumbles sullenly under his breath. Be steadfast in your duty, Captain Frenso. The Emperor protects, Lord Captain. Alright, now to loot. Loot like our lives depend on it. What's this? The servo overseer makes a note of everyone who passes by its station. Every time. Anything to loot? Frenzo whipped another bribe taker yesterday. He's nothing like the last captain. Oh, shit. Some of those go way too fast. My Swiss cheese brain cannot keep up. Oh, who turned a blind eye to everything? Alright, let's see. Anybody with a name? The Technomats are performing a sensing rite on the Sacred Power Transformer, but the machine spirits are running rampant and will not be swayed. Sounds like my potato. Hello? Anybody with a name? Edok Frenzo?
I always have a backup plan.
Nothing I can loot, huh? Ooh. The Cogita dashboard controlling the rail junctions is lit up with indicator lumens for active hubs. Arrival and departure announcements are pouring out of the Vox speakers. Vox systems, sorry. Nothing I can loot. Alright. Let's do one quick look at this. A statue to Magos Ionis 9, architect of Freight Hub LD 987A14. Anything else to say, Edok? Nope, be steadfast in your duty. Oh, okay. Yep. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. Well, that's a bloody mark on the floor. It can't be. We scrubbed the deck 3 times right before the rogue trader came. Void, take me. The captain will have our heads. Is this the welcome you give the rogue trader? Abelard's nostrils flare in anger. Whoever had the audacity to leave this behind, this appalling symbol, I will see to it that the Master at Arms calls them to account herself. No, this is the sign. The corner of the captain's mouth twitches nervously as he mutters, "Damn those! How did they even..." Alright, come on. 100% chance. Examine the mark. Yes! You've seen this sort of symbol before. Death cultists carved bleeding marks like this into their own skin. Cabela carved the same symbol on the back of her hand with a knife and whispers a prayer. Dolmen Lemedicus, remember this sign. It is the beginning of your quest, the first blood trail. Do you know what this mark is? It resembles one of the symbols associated with the Blood Spun Web. What was it called again? The Song of Trailing Blood? I think it is a prayer familiar to many in this compartment. We've heard spinners say it when they, well, perform their signature acts of service to the Emperor. The soundless shadows sank in the dark. Slashed feet crescendo, a fatal dance. Blade song in tempo, each edge an echo. Twin odes to death throes, now on her sacred blood, as she once trods the backs of foes, tread countless souls, but none who know. You memorized the verse? Why? When I took up my post here, I made sure to familiarize myself with all the particular qualities of the compartment. I soon heard about the verse and decided to investigate. I questioned a number of people who follow the Blood Spun Web, as I was trying to figure out if there was anything pernicious about it, and eventually I learned the whole thing. The words are certainly strange, but it's nothing worse than that, it seems. Yeah, well, we know why they left this mark here. It's for us, dumbass. Maybe it has something to do with them inviting you to visit their temple. Maybe they're trying to get your attention. Apologies, Lord Captain. I'm not good at deciphering their disturbing riddles. What is the Song of Trailing Blood? From what I can tell, it's something like a prayer with several verses that tell about the life of one of the cult's saints, Ariane, or the matriarch Spider, as they call her. In other words, it is an invitation. It is only too obvious that cultists obsessed with mysticism would never use prose to mark a way to their temple. They are too fond of obscure chants and cryptic verses. So I am invited to follow a trail of blood, it seems. I accept the spinner's invitation. I hope you find what you're looking for and return to the upper deck safely, Lord Captain. Yeah, we'll be fine. Oh God. We are gonna have to remember that, aren't we? You think you can make out letters woven into the intricate symbol, and though the meaning of each individual letter eludes you, together they unmistakably form an arrow pointing to a certain direction. Is it towards the door? Well, onward we go. We've got to look out for those symbols. And for more things to loot. What's this? The bulky doors lead to the Enforcer's living quarters and Hub's provisional depots. The bulky doors... Okay. Anything I can loot over here? There is. This is the last of the Hub's vials for the work cycle. Do you have any idea how much it costs? There, 57 ration cards. It's all I got, I swear. Spent the rest on rock gut again, I'm guessing. I'm not doing you any favors. Give up the drink or get used to life in the pestilence pit. Oh, God. What the hell is going on here? I hope you get hit by a train. It looks like he left something. Okay, I can't talk to you, but I can loot this. Oh, yes, please. Thank you. Alright. So now we are going this way, it seems. Hello? Any more symbols? The rotting guts of someone unfortunate enough to be flattened by a train lie glistening on the track. Oh, God. I don't see anything. Oh, Jesus. Alright.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
So, it wants us to now go this way. The longer you stare at the mark, the quieter the sounds of the station become. The shadows grow longer and seem to stretch in the direction of the adjacent station. Ooh. That being said, I may have to scrape this place. Oh, God. This is a huge area. Why is this place so big? Anything to loot? Oh, dear Jesus. Hello? This must be the access shaft. Oh! Get him, Abelard.
Naval service. That was barely a challenge.
Ah, here we go. Our prize. 15 ration cards. You can barely make out crudely scribbled words on the burnt note. Then past the marketplace. Sure, the you or you'll ruin entire operation. On the tracks behind, you'll find a little gift for give it to him and see for yourself. Huh. So there's something on the tracks. And then I guess we're jumping down.
Unexpected result.
Yep, there we go. Oh shit. Okay, so new one. Mercy, please save me. The young man gasps for air through burnt lips, slipping in and out of delirium. His skin is dripping from his gaunt body like melted wax from a candle. His eyes, somehow intact, alive, clear, and filled with pain, stare at you from under his caked eyelids. I really want to... Yeah, let's do this one. A blissful smile twists on the man's lips and tear forms at the corner of his ruined eye socket. The God Emperor has sent you to save me. You are his light. You are his grace. Thank you. Thank you for not leaving me here. Never forget the mercy that the Lord Captain has granted you. When the Undying One is ready to accept a soul, it must be sent forth, and so it will be free from the torment of the flesh. Yet you have chosen to prolong this one's suffering? Your intentions perplex me. Yeah, well, it was free iconoclast points. Who are you and what happened to you? I'm Vale, a cleaner. I was in my house, asleep. The enforcers came, set fire to it. I didn't make it out in time. I wonder how long he's been sitting here like this. A watch? 3? The whispers say nobody cared because he didn't matter, but they also say he's somehow supposed to matter to us? Strange. Do you know anything about the mark next to you? He tries to turn his head, his blackened skin crunching as it opens into scarlet cracks. A spinner came. He painted the symbol, then he gave me water and whispered a strange verse. He told me to memorize it, and recite it later, so that help would come. And here you are. Then I should... To soot-smirched soul, her mercy she did grant. Last breath expressed, knife met heart. Removed from chest, passed on to death. Her duty blessed, a balm for those who suffer. Anguish and distress, a longing brought to rest. Of mortal bonds the soul divest. More verses. The crux of this test is clear. In order to follow in the saint's footsteps, you are supposed to kill the young man and release him from his suffering. The cultists want to see if you understand the philosophy of those you seek. Help is on the way. Just hold on a little longer. Of course. Thank you. Yeah, no. The enforcers killed that man, not the Blood Spun Web. You guys just saw an injured dude on the ground and didn't help him. The Emperor wasn't calling for that man's soul. Alright. Is this... Yeah, this is a little bonus area. Oh god. My finger's getting all tangled up. Can we see in here?
Let us not dawdle.
Yep. Okay, that's the way we're supposed to go. A little rat circus. Can I tip him? A group of gawkers are crowding around a makeshift stage, watching a strange duo perform. A man with odd-looking goggles pushed up on his forehead, hands wrapped in worn leather gloves, plays a tune on a homemade flute. Next to him sits a stack of crates supporting some kind of game board. A scruffy rat is rolling small glass balls around the board. Several workers empty their pockets and start throwing ration cards, bolt nuts, and even a few power panels into the small chest next to the board. The flute player winks at the crowd and switches to a different tone. The rat squeaks excitedly and starts rolling the colorful balls the players have chosen around the maze of tunnels on the board, but not a single one reaches the goal. A hole marked with a red circle. The rat just rolls all the balls off the board or into dead ends. Once the first group of players get their hopes dashed and leave empty-handed, new workers immediately take their place. Ooh, I'm liking these odds. Let's watch the rat. The rat scurries around the board, spurred on by the flute. Its movements appear erratic at first glance, but after a while you notice how consistently the balls seem to miss the goal at the very last moment. While the rat's clumsy, amusing scampering distracts the spectators, its nimble tail directs the balls away from the hole. let's listen to the tune. Come on. Yeah! The rat's movements, from the flicks of its tail to when and where it pushes the balls, obey its master's wordless commands with uncanny precision. The notes, the pauses, the rhythm, every part of the melody serves as a signal to the flute player's tiny assistant. Solve the mystery of the trick by analyzing its individual elements. Your mind eliminates all irrelevant factors: the ruffling of cards, the clamor of bolt nuts, the excited gestures of naive folk believing in luck where calculation reigns. There is only one game, and its structural components: a skillfully crafted melody and a trained pet that is smarter than it looks. Where others hear music, you discern a series of coded directives being issued to the flute player's tiny accomplice. The rat distracts the spectators with a show of clumsiness while precisely following the master's commands. This is how the balls just happen to roll past the goal, much to the chagrin of the participants. Toss a coin in the chest. A fine show. This guy has clearly worked on this for a long time. The crowd, which has been too absorbed in the performance to notice your presence, turns to you, expressions of frightful awe appearing on the worker's face. Many start whispering prayers. The flute player's clear eyes widen in surprise. Then, with an open and friendly smile, he says, "Many a grand story of the Lord Captain's generosity is told, and I swear on my own flute, today I will add another. To a fortune peddler, the Lord Captain's grace is a gift from fate itself." He applauds you with gratitude, and the workers timidly join in. "Perhaps you would like to trade us some of the captain's fortune of yours, your lordship." "Who are you?" "I am but one of many. A voice in the crowd, a cog in the mechanism. His humble servant, flute player, is all they call me, because that's what I am. I make up tunes and give the people respite after a hard day's work." "That is a curious-looking flute. How did you come by it?" "My mother loved music. She used to hum beautiful melodies to me, and when she passed away, I carved this flute from her hip bone, oh God, and learned to play out of sorrow and respect for her memory. Play one of the local favorites for me." The flute player smiles mysteriously and brings the flute to his lips. A simple, brisk melody pours out of the instrument. The glum faces of the workers and traders soften a little, and the tunnel around you seems less squalid than before. Long after the music has stopped, many continue to whistle the unassuming ditty. A flute needs no words to sing, but I am curious to know what story your melody tells. The story of a simple man from the lower decks, honest with himself and others. He risks his life to protect the oppressed from those corrupted by power. He takes from the rich and gives to the needy. He helps without asking anything in return. Nemesis, a hero of tales, admired by children and grown folk alike. Ooh. No. Fairy tale indeed, risking oneself for nothing. If such a man existed, he would surely be profiting from your misfortunes in secret. Why are these so negative? I don't want to be a dick. Yeah, we're going with number one, despite the experience we could have gotten. May good times come for you one day, and then there will be no need for songs about frightening injustice. In the meantime, strive to lift the people's spirits, flute player. The crowd nods in approval. The exciting whispers merge into a single prayer for your health. The flute player smiles. For a humble servant, there is no greater reward than his Lord's approval. I will try my best to inspire as many of your subjects with music as I can. Ooh, I know we're running short on time, but we might as well finish this conversation. Are you suggesting we play a game? Please bless our little lark with your attention. Explain the rules of this game to me. It is simple. On this board, you play with fate. Choose a ball and give it to Bolts, my rat. If she rolls your ball into a pocket marked in red within 3 minutes, you win. If she doesn't, you lose. Simple. Well, I'd play fair if you were playing fair, but this should be amusing. The man readies his flute and the rat dives under the board. You hear clawed feet scrabbling against the crate, and a few moments later a green ball pops out of the center. You have already seen through the flute player's performance. You listen to him play and watch the rat closely. Then at a certain point, you start tapping your fingers on the edge of the crate, adding your own rhythm to the tune. The rat scrambles in confusion, mistaking your commands for those of its master, and starts rolling the ball towards the goal. That's what we wanted to see. When the ball drops into the red hole, a few impressed whistles come from the crowd, and the flute player laughs heartily. Cleverly done, your lordship. Well, I had no doubt that you would be a worthy opponent, and your strategy, I think I will keep it in mind for my future games. You know what? I'm gonna go with number 2. Cut a button from your sleeve and throw it to the man. For the entertainment. Thank you for this generous gift. These folks will shower me in ration cards to get their hands on something that belonged to your lordship. Fortune gave me the brightest of its smiles today. I hope you have enjoyed yourself. I certainly won't forget my fateful meeting with the Lord Captain. The flute player clears the board in one deft movement and begins a new tune. Yeah, this guy's gonna remember this for generations. But unfortunately, it's getting to be about that time of the hour. We will continue on our quest to find the Blood Spun Web and loot the underbelly of my ship next time. But for now, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming along with me. I hope you all have had a wonderful day. And until I see you next time, have fun and stay safe out there.